Pete Sampras was one of the most dominant forces tennis has ever seen. But he didn't just dominate with his serve or his technique. He mastered the game by mastering himself, keeping his emotions locked away, unshaken in the face of any opponent. While others thrived on loud displays of passion, Sampras's silence was his strength. He outclassed some of the game's greatest with a unique calm, even as he battled his own hidden challenges. But behind that calm was a story of resilience, struggle, and a relentless pursuit of greatness. This is how Pete Sampras changed tennis forever, without ever showing emotion. Sampras was a mystery to his opponents. At a time when emotional outbursts and fiery displays were the norm, he chose a different path. Every time he stepped onto the court, he wore an expressionless mask, his face giving away nothing. This wasn't just a style, it was his strategy. Opponents couldn't read his thoughts, couldn't see if he was rattled or tired. This calm approach often made others uneasy, breaking their rhythm as they faced a player who seemed untouchable. For Sampras, his calm demeanor wasn't about avoiding emotion. It was about wielding control, a way of asserting dominance through silence. Pete Sampras's story began far from the grand stadiums of Wimbledon or the hard courts of the US Open. Born to Greek immigrants in Washington, D.C., Sampras found an old tennis racket in his basement as a child, sparking a passion that would shape his life. His family soon moved to California, where the young Sampras dedicated every spare moment to his craft. Unlike many young athletes, Sampras wasn't interested in fame or applause. Guided by his father and a small circle of supporters, he was motivated by a love for the game and a quiet determination to be the best. By the time he turned 16, Sampras had already turned pro, but he was still just a quiet kid with big dreams. While other players fueled their performances with bursts of energy and emotion, Sampras took a different approach. To him, emotion was a distraction, a liability that could unravel his focus. Early on, he learned to channel his feelings inward, using them to sharpen his concentration rather than outwardly expressing them. Sampras understood that losing his cool meant losing control, and for him, control was everything. During critical moments in a match where the pressure was at its peak, Sampras's calm demeanor set him apart. While his opponents might tense up or overthink, Sampras became laser-focused. This mental discipline became one of his greatest assets, allowing him to stay present and calm, even under the most intense circumstances. One of the most intense rivalries in tennis was between Sampras and Andre Agassi. Agassi was everything Sampras was not: flamboyant, expressive, and a fan favorite for his showmanship. Their rivalry was electric, a clash of opposites that captivated audiences around the world. For Sampras, facing players like Agassi was the ultimate test of his composure. Agassi's fiery passion brought out a heightened focus in Sampras, who used his calm to unsettle his more expressive rival. This contrast wasn't just a battle of skill, it was a battle of mindsets, where Sampras's silence became a statement of its own. In every showdown, Sampras's calmness was more than just a style. It was a calculated advantage, a way to get under his opponent's skin and keep himself locked into the game. While other players drew fans with their flashy shots or crowd-pumping antics, Sampras mastered a style that was both clinical and powerful. His serve and volley game was a high-stakes strategy that required incredible precision, but Sampras executed it flawlessly, using his powerful serve to gain quick control and approach the net with ease. His signature slam dunk overheads and effortless volleys showcased a player who prioritized efficiency and control over flash. To the casual fan, his style may have seemed simple, but in reality, it was a carefully crafted blend of power and precision that few players could handle. Sampras didn't need to shout or gesture to make an impact. His game spoke for him. Each shot, each serve, was like a calculated move in a larger chess match, and every point was a step closer to victory. Behind Sampras's unbreakable exterior was a hidden struggle. Unknown to many, he was quietly battling thalassemia, a blood disorder that left him often fatigued and drained. This condition meant that his energy levels were unpredictable, but Sampras never used it as an excuse. He kept his struggle private, refusing to let his opponents see any sign of weakness. The condition affected his stamina, forcing him to dig even deeper during long matches. Despite the toll on his body, Sampras pushed through, relying on his mental strength to carry him when his body wanted to give up. To the world he looked unshakable, but inside, he was fighting a battle that few people knew about. This silent warrior spirit only added to his legend. Sampras's calmness wasn't just a trait, it was his superpower on the biggest stages. From Wimbledon to the US Open, he thrived under the spotlight. In 1995, during his unforgettable Wimbledon final against Boris Becker, Sampras showcased this calm resolve. The match was intense, a 5-set showdown that pushed both players to their limits. But while Becker wore his heart on his sleeve, Sampras remained stoic, his focus unbroken. He captured the championship with an unflappable demeanor that left fans in awe. Each Grand Slam victory added to his legacy, and each was a testament to his ability to stay composed in the face of pressure. With 14 Grand Slam titles, Sampras cemented his place as one of the game's greatest, all while keeping his emotions in check. Sampras's career wasn't just about winning titles, it was about setting an example. His calm, controlled approach inspired a generation of players who saw that greatness didn't have to be loud. Roger Federer, a player who many consider Sampras's successor in both style and poise, adopted this philosophy. Federer's own calm, respectful demeanor can be traced back to Sampras's influence. Sampras showed the world that a quiet champion could be just as inspiring as a vocal one, that mental strength and discipline were as valuable as physical prowess. Even today, young players look to Sampras's career as a model of how to handle pressure and succeed with humility. But maintaining this calm exterior wasn't without its costs. While Sampras's calmness gave him an edge on the court, it sometimes created distance between him and the fans. In a sport where passion is celebrated, his stoicism was sometimes misunderstood. Some fans saw him as cold, others as too reserved. This distance was a sacrifice Sampras was willing to make to stay focused. But for him, the trade-off was worth it. His calm demeanor was the foundation of his success, and he valued the mental edge it gave him over public adoration. In the end, his silence spoke louder than words, leaving a legacy defined by resilience and dedication. Pete Sampras showed the world that silence can be a strength. In a sport filled with high emotions, he redefined what it meant to be a champion. He didn't need the roars or the fist pumps. His game, his discipline, and his unbreakable focus were enough. For Sampras, winning wasn't about proving something to others, it was about proving something to himself. His calmness became a part of his identity, a mark of his greatness. And today, his story stands as a testament to the power of inner strength, a reminder that sometimes the loudest champion is the one who speaks the least.